Okay, we're at enter the trade, and I went ahead and put confirmation in here because this is really what we can think about step 3 as. Yes, you're entering the trade, but you're also choosing the kind of confirmation that you want to get upon entering the trade. So to illustrate that, I want to go ahead and walk you through some photos right here. So we've got a 1 hour key area. We've got a 1 minute divergence that has been identified from here to here and from here to here. We've got our trend line on. So far, we've done step number 1. We've located divergence at our key area. Doesn't matter whether it's a 4 hour, a 1 hour, a 15 minute. Okay. Then we're drawing a trend line. So this right here, this is a 1 hour key area, but it must be on the 15-minute time frame that we're looking at this, because we'd only drop down one time frame to actually confirm our divergence. Okay, so drop down a time frame for a better entry, or to get a better entry on our divergence, but we'll also be confirming it on this time frame as well. So we've got our trend line right there, and we are waiting for confirmation. First entry would be the trend line break with a momentum candle in this situation, in this scenario. So that would be our first potential entry right there at the end of that momentum candle, last 2 to 3 seconds. Not only is it showing us that it broke the diagonal support, but it's also showing us momentum. It's showing us, man, not only am I going to break this, I'm going to do it with style. I'm going to do it aggressively with power. Okay, our second entry would have been the trend line break plus the 50 EMA. So not only did it break the trend line, but it also broke the 50 EMA and closed, in this case, below it. So that would be a second potential entry. Our third entry option in this scenario would be a trend line break plus retest rejection. See how it broke the trend line, it came back, and then it showed us rejection here. So we wouldn't have just gotten in on this huge bullish candle, right? We wouldn't have just let this candle close and then jumped in the trade. We would have looked for some form of rejection going on. We want something to tell us, hey, this diagonal support resistance, well, it's gone from support to now resistance. And so we get that through a doji and then our bearish engulfing candle. Not necessarily looking for a momentum reversal. This could come in the form of wick rejections, momentum reversal, bearish engulfing candlestick, whatever. There's lots of different things that you can see as rejection. And so this is just one of those things where price has come up, retested, and said, "Ooh, hey, I'm out of here. I'm moving away from here right now." Okay, and we would enter on that candle. And this is actually, this is our fourth entry, not our third entry. Let's see here. Okay, cool. No, you know what? This is our third entry, our double third entry. So we've got a trend line break, and then we've also got a retest rejection of the 50 EMA. See how price breaks below the 50, comes back, puts in a little bit of consolidation, 2 doji candles, and then a bearish engulfing. And so essentially, it breaks, comes back to the 50, and then starts to pull away. Okay, that would be another entry. Another entry would be a trend line break plus the EMA cross. So it's broken the trend line, and it doesn't look like we have our EMA cross here. Let's find it. Okay, here is our EMA cross right here. So we've got the 50, and then the 14 has crossed with the 50. Okay, so our entry would be right here on that second candle So it would be this candle right here that we'd be entering on. So not only have we had that trend line break, but also the 14 has gone and crossed with the 50. That's a sign of downward bearish momentum. Now let's go over to the charts. Okay, so with this one, our first entry would be right here. Okay, the break of the trend line. Our second entry would be a retest of this trend line slash key area. It looks like it's retesting that key area as well. And we've got a wick rejection and then a bearish engulfing candle right there. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a sign of retesting and rejecting the trend line slash key area. And then if we get our 50 EMA out, then it looks like the first time it closes below the 50 is right here. So that would be a possible entry. The first time it breaks and then retests the 50 is right around here. So let's zoom in a little bit and let's get a feel for rejection. Not really seeing any rejection right here. We do have this candle, but then it really has a lot of wick on it. It creates, almost looks like it's going to go to the upside. Then it pulls back a little bit, gives an engulfing right there. I would prefer this as my rejection of the 50. If you wanted to, if you want to be more aggressive and things like that, you can always go, for something like that. If you see any form of bearish momentum, if you want to be a little bit more picky, a little bit more conservative, then you'll wait for something else to happen. Maybe this right here is the best thing, because after it touches, you probably wouldn't get in on that candle. That's just kind of just consolidating right there within this candle. Then we've got a doji not doing much. Then we've got this that looks like it's going to give us a sign of an entry, but it pulls up and gives us the wick. And then right here we finally, have a fuller body candle, and it's also pulled past this other candle. So that is the entry that I would deem the best after a retest. We just want to see, some form of momentum telling us, hey, it's okay, we're going to go to the downside. Okay, and then we have a cross. Now the cross happened right here. Okay, so we would get in right after this cross. The best place to do it, I don't think that the cross didn't happen. It happened like the candle after that, after this candle. So that happens. So our entry could have been right after that candle because we saw the cross. Maybe if you wanted to be, wait for a little bit more of a surety, then you would have saw this kind of run up starting and waited and then gotten in on the first sign of bearish momentum. Right there. Right there. There are many, many different options depending on the scenario that you're in with the trade or what you're comfortable with. If you just want to go for it like this, hey, it broke the trend line, great. If you want to wait for momentum candle, which in this case we actually have one, awesome. There's a little bit more added confirmation. If you want to wait for the EMAs to cross and then have a retest, and then look for rejection, awesome. Okay, a little bit more confirmation thrown in there. Okay, let's go to the hourly. And let's pull up our line chart here. Okay, so you found, let's say that you found a 15-minute divergence, okay? Lower point here on the RSI, higher point here on the 15-minute price chart. And we've got a couple different options. We've got this long trend line right there, or we've got this one that fits really, really well, and it doesn't snug up. This is what I mean by snugging up too close. like something that is kind of ridiculous like that just looks way off. This is completely fine. So we've got a few options here. We could get in on the break of the trend line. Okay. We also happen to have a momentum candle here. So that's great. That's going in our favor for added confirmation. We could wait for a retest of the support to resistance level right here, but we don't get that. We do get a little bit of a key area retest right there, just a little bit. So we could enter off of this move away. Then we could also wait for a break of the 50. So this is the first time that the 50 gets broken. We could wait for a break, then a retest. So let's see. Okay, so we get a break here, and then we sort of get this funky consolidation retest, and then when that candle goes, we could call that confirmation, or we could wait for more of a break and a potential retest. And then we could also wait for the crossing of the EMAs. So it looks like the EMAs cross right in there. Somewhere right in there we could get in. Okay. And let's go out to the daily. Okay, let's find our divergence here at a daily area. And then let's go down to the 4 hour because we want a better entry. And let's look for the break. Let's look for the break. So we have got a break right there. So that would be our first entry, potential entry right there. Then after that, it looks like we got a pull away and a retest. We got two little wick rejections right there. Another potential entry. We've also got the crossing of the EMAs right, kind of right there. So either this candle or this candle, one of those two would be the entry candle for that. And then for the 50, we've got the break below the 50, then we've got a retest up here. So that would be the entry for that. And it looks like those are all of the entries right here.